In this lecture, we will study how to determine user requirements for your product design. We start first by studying the general market for a product. Products often fail due to lack of market knowledge, not poor design. This is often frustrating to design engineers who work very hard to design a great product, think it's a great product, but are told that it's a failure because people didn't buy it in sufficient quantity to make the required corporate profits. So if design engineers want to game this situation and prevent commercial failure, it behooves them to acquire market knowledge. This is done by studying competitive products, a firm's own products, and by interviewing users of the products. Another problem is that sales and marketing staff in most firms lack the technical knowledge to create a PDS, that's product design spec, suitable to control the design activity. Never buy an argument that says you don't have time for a market study. It may take longer than you like to do the study, but at least you still have a chance for commercial success. If nobody performs the study, the product will surely fail. You ask yourself some simple questions to understand user needs, a process similar to writing a news article. First, you must find out who your customer is. In what environment does your customer use the product? How will your new product solve a customer's problem? Saying that a product satisfies an unmet need of the users is marketing speak for saying that it solves their problem. You want your product to be in that category, not one that nobody needs. You need to understand what users like and dislike about the features of existing products. More importantly, if you add features to your proposed design, you want to know that people will pay extra for them, not take them for granted. We say that a feature is a must-have if people are willing to pay for it. If not, a feature is only nice to have. Focus your energy on must-have features. There are lots of ways to obtain market information. This slide shows the best methods that I found when doing design work. Not all are practical for this class, but I wanted to mention them briefly to help you in your future careers. Consumer products companies like to do market surveys of users via focus groups, telemarketing, and web surveys. They tend to be expensive to run and annoying for the users, but they yield very good information. If anybody is working on a consumer product design in this class, you can do a simple and free survey using Google Forms. Professional marketing companies write formal market reports which they sell online for prices between $5,000 and $10,000. Obviously not for this course. These reports are highly organized and attempt to segment user needs and sales figures in very granular categories. If you work one day for a very large corporation that can afford these prices, it might be a good way to gain market information. For this class, the best way to learn about competitive products is to study them, either in person or by reading the literature on them on company websites. This, of course, is free. Be aware, however, that you can't assume that all features found on these products are what users really want. They might be nice-to-have features, not must-have features. Use your own judgment and think about this carefully. You can read recent patents and published research reports about the underlying technology for a product. Generally, this method is free and so well advised for this class. Again, you can't assume that all features found on these products are what users really want. Most patents never get developed into real products. Codes and standards documents written by organizations like ASME and ANSI sometimes contain opening paragraphs about the products that they pertain to. The websites discuss their history of setting standards for products, which tells you why they exist in the first place. For those of you who want to design products for formal design contests such as Solar Boat and Baja SAE, reading the contest rules is a must-do. These documents directly define the design requirements for your project. How easy is that? Make sure you quote these documents directly into your own codification of specs, should you enter a contest. We want you to formally codify your marketing requirements in your project reports as articulated by users. To make this simple, we give you the spreadsheet template shown as a screenshot in this slide. The template shows market requirements for a smartphone. You simply change the names of the specs and products in the template to document your product and its competitors. The left column shows the name of the spec, the second from the left column shows how your firm meets the spec, and the 3 other columns show how competitive products meet the spec. If your product has more or less than 3 competitors, alter the number of columns for the competitive products. You color code your product's column green if you think your spec is better than that of the competition, yellow if it's substantially the same, and red if it's worse. Generally, you would like your column to have a lot of green, a few yellows, and no reds. For example, your firm's product is a 100-meter Wi-Fi range. This box is colored green because 100 meters is longer than the 80, 60, and 50-meter specs shown by the competitors. The native Excel spreadsheet for this template will be stored in Blackboard. You can also get to it by clicking the icon in the lower left corner of the slide that will be stored in Blackboard. This slide explains how we want you to incorporate your market research into your product design specification, acronym PDS. We will explain more about how to write the PDS in an upcoming video. Distilling market information into a working prototype is still a serial process, despite what you may read on websites emphasizing rapid prototyping and concurrent engineering. Therefore, Rule 1 is to not write the PDS until the market research is completed and approved by all of your team members. Rule 2 says to include only those product features that your market research shows are of significant importance to users. In other words, work on the must-have features, not the nice-to-have features. Rule 3 says that it's okay to change the market requirements in PDS after the design starts. This is normal for most projects. We will give you a method in the template for the PDS to document your changes, so you can keep track of the latest spec. So now you understand how to create marketing specs for your product design. In the next video, we will teach you about design methodology, introducing a concept called total design.